advocate's comment about grassroots effort, I want to say that we are here in front of PS9 today, but also joining us are parents from PS11, PS20, and PS282, and you will also see their comments and support in our press release as well. Now, as has been mentioned, this school is part of the Atlantic, is going to go up in a building that will be built in the Atlantic Yards project. It's a state-run project. This community obviously has been very interested and concerned with what happens and doesn't happen in some cases at the Atlantic Yards project, and we've been very, very fortunate to have terrific officials in the state of New York to help work with us on some of those issues, and I'd like to introduce one of them now, Assemblymember Walter Mosley.
Thank you, Gil. First of all, I want to thank my colleagues for being here. I want to thank the PTO. I want to thank Community Board 8. I want to thank CEC 13. You know, some people say, what's my most important job? And it's not as being your assemblyman, unfortunately. My most important job is being a father of two. And unfortunately, I have a son who's a member of PS11. He's a third grader. And as parents, we're always thinking 2-3 years ahead of time. Am I right?
Yes.
We're thinking about where's the next step, particularly as it relates to their advancement in their academic careers, whether we're talking about lower school, middle school, high school, and college. And to me, I think that it's commendable that the community has taken on this effort to present this idea, this concept of an MS1 Brooklyn. Not only does it deal with issues of our economy going forward, dealing with STEAM, not only does it deal with the issues of our special needs students, dual language students, but it also deals with the issue of what's parochial and concerning to us, and that's having a standalone middle school. You know, as a former CEC 13 teacher at PS93 in Bedford-Stuyvesant, as a former and as now as a current parent of CEC 13, I know all too well how important it is for us to properly plan and put our students in the best possible position to succeed in life, not just academically. But also we have concerns as it relates to all the other development that's taking place, not just at the Pacific Park development, but development that's taking place in my district, that's taking place throughout my colleagues' district. Assemblymember Joanne Simon, who will talk shortly, and what type of impact that's going to have on District 13 as a whole. So we have to take into account the quality of life as it relates to how this is going to impact this community, the quality of life as it's going to relate to people who live here, and the quality of life of the students that are going to be coming here, and the families that are going to be coming here. Because ultimately, we have to have that forward-thinking mentality of not just what's going to be happening in real time, but what's going to be happening 3, 4, 5 years down the line. My colleague, our public advocate, talked about our concerns about this impact it will have on the district. And we're quite concerned about that. And that's something that we're going to have to continue to talk to the superintendent, continue to talk to the chancellor. But ultimately, I think that we have a mayor and we have a chancellor who has the doors open. Unlike before, maybe the doors might have been shut. That we have a chancellor who's willing to listen, who's willing to take into account parents and what they have to say, and what their views and positions are. So I want to commend Gibbs, I want to commend Maggie, I want to commend all of you for being here. I want to thank the children who are here, because ultimately we do this for you. Ultimately we do this for your future, and ultimately we do this for the future of our community. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you, Assemblymember Mosley. I'd like to now introduce State Senator Jesse Hamilton.
Good morning, everyone. I'm New York State Senator Jesse Hamilton, and education has always been a passion of mine. So over 2 decades ago, I became the school board president in District 17. And like today, 20 years ago, deja vu, we have parents in the day complaining about the middle school. And what we did was we went on a campaign to create 3 new schools, one of which is down here at PS22. We won a campaign to acquire more schools, and we acquired the school right here on Vanderbilt and Sterling Street, which we call North Star Academy. At that point in time, Prospect Heights was not a place that was very desirable, so they had 2 schools. One school became condo, one school we acquired for the North Star Academy. At that particular point in time, we had the 5th best school in New York State. It was called the Crown School for Law and Journalism. And that school produced so many great kids in our community. So what's happening now? We have new parents moving into the community, and we don't have enough schools to accommodate them. Now the question is, we have 3 school districts bordering each other, 13, 15, and 17. And parents who live on this side of the street cannot cross Flatbush Avenue to go to the next school district, which makes no sense to me. We need to come up with some solutions as far as how we're going to address the situation of performing middle schools. Should it be based on zone, where you live, or should it be based on performance of your child doing well? Should we set aside 20% of a population in the school for Tier 2 achieving well and doing well, or should we just have it as a zone school? I have many kids in my neighborhood who are doing well, but have few options of where to go. Many kids are going to private schools, many kids are going to parochial schools to make that happen. So right now, I'm on the Education Committee for New York State, and I'm here today to say let's create some solutions, let's think of ways on how we can be progressive in addressing this issue of middle schools. Having 3 schools built, it takes about 3 years to have a school built. So if you have a child right now in the 5th grade, by the time the school is built, your child will be all going into high school. So what we're doing now might not be for our children, but we're doing it for the next generation. And so that's why when I joined the school, I had no children at all. I want to make a difference in the quality of life education in our community. And I continue with that commitment today. So we have to bear in mind, I say people move to neighborhoods not for stadiums. No one moved here for the Barclays Center. People moved here for the quality of life and for better schools. And I want this area, I want our community to be known for quality education and not for quality education. Quality education and not on the Barclays Center. So, and we also have to have development that makes sense. We can't have 421As giving billion-dollar subsidies to developers and then not developing any schools. So we have all this development and no one's taking into consideration what about the education? What about our children? So I'm here today to say I'm committed, once again. I've been doing this now for over 2 decades to make sure we have quality education. And it starts here, it starts now with the parents. But bear in mind, the parents here today whose children are not in the 3rd grade or 4th grade may not be the beneficiaries. So, you know, that's part of the reality. You know, I want to talk the talk, but I'm going to keep it real as possible as what we're up against and what we have to do. The Atlantic Yards, we're going to be building up a platform. But I said we can have eminent domain to build a stadium. We can have eminent domain for a school. What's more important to us? Eminent domain for a stadium or eminent domain for a school? So we have many options to explore. I'm here today to say I'm here to help you. I'm here for the long term, not the short term. So when the cameras are away, I will still be here, committed to our children, committed to education. Thank you very much, Jesse Hamilton.
Thank you, State Senator Hamilton. And now it's my pleasure to introduce somebody I've had the opportunity to work with for many years in advocacy in this part of Brooklyn, and who I'm delighted to have represent our district in the New York State Assembly, Assemblymember Joanne Simon.
Thank you. Thank you, Giv. Thank you, CEC 13. Thank you, Community Board 8, my colleagues. And to Senator Hamilton, I want to say, obviously, his advocacy in education, if you've met little Jesse, you know that it's worked very well. We've all gotten to meet little Jesse quite a few times now in the past year, and he's a great example of the young people that we want to develop here in our community. And I am also so delighted to see so many young children here today, because we're building this school for you. The education system is supposed to exist for our children, and quite frankly, the location of schools should not be an afterthought. There are a couple of themes that people have raised today. From the bottom up instead of the top down. Big change we need in the way we address our schools, and the way we address land use in this city. At some level, all of these things revolve around real estate. That shouldn't be the case. We need for our schools to be more a part of and an integral part of the planning of how we develop in our city. It is not just in this area that we're having this problem, although we have it on steroids. As you know, we have a tremendous amount of development. We have very little attention given to the infrastructure, the social infrastructure, the physical infrastructure, and how are we going to absorb all of these new families into an already densely packed area. So this school was an afterthought. It wasn't actually something that was planned. It was something that was a mitigation. I look forward to the day when our schools are not a mitigation for somebody else's plan, and that they are an integral part of what we as a community do. In some respects, we have this issue because we are victims of our own success, because these communities have worked together to create community, to bring people together, and this school is a prime example. The proposal here is really a wonderful illustration of what we can do together as community to be positive, to move forward, to bring new ideas to our education and new skills and development to our children. And I look forward to a process that engages in the way that MS1 Brooklyn has throughout our city, certainly throughout the districts that I represent, 15 and 13, when it comes to schools. So I'm just delighted to be part of this. I am so grateful for the community and all of the people who collaborated on this to bring together this vision. I think it's an absolutely excellent vision, and I'm really looking forward to working with you to make sure that this occurs. Thank you.